Hello and welcome to another SWP showcase. My name is Andy and today I bring you the GWR 460 Manor Class, brought to train sim by Railworks and Steam Sound Supreme. Let's start, as always, with a bit of history. The first batch of 20 Manors were built between 1938 and 1939 to plug a gap in the GWR motive power roster. Granges and halls were all well and good, but their route availability limited them to certain parts of the network, which was unhelpful for most of Wales. The Swindon No. 14 boiler was designed and built specifically for these engines, and as with the Granges, the GWR cannibalised the 4300 Moguls for use on the first 20 engines. A further 20 engines were supposed to have been built under the GWR, but the war put an end to that. However, in 1950, whilst BR standards were supposed to become the norm, the Western region ordered another 10 locomotives with the view to build a further 10 after that. The second batch never made it, but we do have the numbers and names for those that could have been. For a Swindon machine, their performance straight out of the box was mediocre to disappointing, and had it not been for the war, the Great Western Railway would have recalled the class for modifications. These modifications were made by BR in 1954, which included the narrowing of the chimney, modifications to the blast pipe, and larger airspace in the fire grate. All of this improved drafting and the Manor's overall performance. In the beginning, you could find Manors all over the Great Western network, from Wolverhampton to Westbury. They were most famous for running over the ex-Cambrian network, and during BR days would find themselves taking over from Kings and Castles at Shrewsbury to take a fully laden express through to the coast at Aberystwyth. They were also successfully used in the West Country, being pilot engines or bankers for the expresses over the Devon banks. The first example, 7809, was withdrawn in 1963. And by 1965, the final two, 7808 and 7829, were withdrawn from Didcot Shed. 9 examples, almost a third of the class, have been preserved for us to enjoy. So what do you get with the Victory Works pack? You have every possible example of the Manors during their working lives from GWR through to BR Lakecrest, with many customisable options, including the taking away of nameplates as was done during the last months of their lives. You also have every name and number of the class, including the 10 lost locos that were never built. You have a vast selection of headboards and the option to add a train reporting number. You also have easy to use headlamps that are activated by using the control and number buttons. The cab has been beautifully modelled with an amazing firebox that looks as good as the real thing, without the heat. And I love the heads out view. As well as the locomotives and tenders, you also have a couple of unique wagons included in the pack, as shown here. You even get to move propellers around for the war effort. Also included are some custom scenarios and quick drive consists. And finally, I wanted to save the sounds till last, because I was absolutely blown away when I heard them for the first time. Steam Sound Supreme have done an absolutely amazing job with this pack. The chuffs are beefy and loud just as you expect, and the whistles are a cut above the rest. I really hope this will set the bar for Steam Sound Supreme GWR sounds in the future, because I will admit I was getting bored of the same sound set being used with every GWR product we saw, and I just thought that would be it, but I'm so glad to be proven wrong. Hats off to you, Steam Sound Supreme. So, what's it like to drive? As we know, the Great Western versions of the Manors were legendarily mediocre, so that kind of performance has been recreated in train sim for the GWR variants. Although I am quite partial to this, as it means more thrash up the banks. The BR variants are therefore more capable machines, but it doesn't stop me wanting to drive the GWR ones. I have tried my hand at the standard and advanced modes of driving and found both to be fun and challenging at times. There is a third option, which is the simple mode, which I won't go near. In advanced mode, you have the steam chest and second valve properly simulated, and another feature included is the inclusion of humanity. In by way of the stoking is only as good as the fireman's breakfast portion. He will tire, and you will have problems until he decides the union will let him shovel some more coal. Also, some beautiful attention to detail entails the vacuum braking system. The Manors will see what lamp code you have applied to the train and will determine the amount of train that is vacuum fitted, and therefore the braking will adjust accordingly, as seen here. So, to sum up, although we've already had the Manors in game for a long time, I think we can all agree that Victory Works' effort brings the Manors into the modern day of Train Simulator, and the Just Trains variant can now live a happy retirement in our assets folder. I for one bought this immediately I saw it available, and I could not be happier. The sounds blew me off my feet, and Victory Works have really upped their texture game, which is amazing to see. The Manors have rightfully taken their place among Victory Works' impressive and extensive catalogue, and I cannot wait to see what they have in store for the future. Brought to Train Sim by Victory Works and And as with the Grangers, the GWR the Western region ordered another 10 locomotives that I just screwed up the line for. And had it not been for the war, the Great Western Railway would have fucking got their lines right. And during BR days, you would find them taking a piss around the back of the bike sheds. The Manors have rightfully taken their place among Victory Works' impressive and extensive catalogue of getting your lines right.